All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Welcome to the MMA Advocates presented by CrossBonesMMA and reptheadvocates.com. My name is Eddie Law. Of course, from ABQ, we got Dave Rodriguez. From Dayton, Ohio, Mr. Fred Kirby. And straight out of LA, Jesse Rubalcaba. All right, fellas, hell of a fucking weekend, man. For real. That fucking crazy shit. And I know, Fred, you want to get right into it. Let's look, the whole card overall was okay until we got to the shit show. That was the co-main event. And then after that, it was just strange. We'll talk about the fights first, and then of course we'll get to the DC weigh-in thing and the Rumble thing later on. But let's go right to the co-main event. Chris Weidman loses via TKO, supposedly, to Gegard Mousasi. Now, if you guys, of course, most people watch the pay-per-view or at least have seen the highlight of it. Gegard Mousasi landing knees. Weidman trying to, in my opinion, and I'm gonna get right into my opinion on it, is Weidman trying to kind of game the system, right? Now, the fighters have been told that the new rules are in place, meaning you have to have palms or fists on the ground. None of this fingertip shit, right? Weidman had fingertips, but Mousasi was a fucking G about it. He had the the underhooks or overhooks over him, had the gable grip underneath, and he stood him up, right? He lifted him up to get those hands off if they were down, and he kneed him. The fingertips were sort of still down. Regardless, completely legal kick. Here's where the fuck up came. The ref fucked it up. Dan Morgliata fucked it up. He was in the wrong spot. It was kind of unavoidable at that point. Then the State Athletic Commission fucked it up a little more, and they tried to fix their own thing afterwards. So let's just go right into your raw reaction to it, Fred. You saw that shit after the whole co-main event was over. What'd you come away with?
My first reaction was, what the fuck? They're not going to actually stop. My whole problem was them stopping the fight, man. That was ridiculous. Obviously, the ref fucked up. But you know what, though? I ain't even hating on him for fucking up, man. He's just a human. Shit happens. Like, it literally took all of us watching in super slow-mo to see Weidman's hand barely coming off the fucking mat to make sure that the fucking knee was actually legal for fucking up. But once that, fact is out there, don't stop the fight because fucking Big Dan blew the call, man. It's still his fault. Now, there are also going to be, and maybe somebody on this fucking show will be of this opinion, there are people already saying that Weidman was low-key milking it, talking about he don't know if he can see and all this kind of bullshit, and it bit him on the ass because they stopped the fight. Now, I don't know. All that's up for debate, man. Either way, the fight should not have been fucking stopped. Take a point from Gegard. Give Chris his 5 minutes. I don't give a shit what you do, but restart the fucking fight, man. Start him from that position. I don't give a fuck. Let Gegard have mount. Don't stop the fight. That seemed like the worst possible scenario. Nobody's happy with that. The fans weren't happy. Gegard wasn't happy. Chris sure as shit ain't happy. Worst possible outcome ever. And just the biggest clusterfuck. These new rules. Jesus fucking Christ. Who knows what's up, who don't? Before you know it, they're stopping the fucking fight. And this is somebody's fucking livelihood, man. It's a big fucking deal. Plus, now what? Weidman's fucking lost 67 in a row?
Yeah.
He's probably in Bellator because of this fucking shit, man. This shit is low-key detrimental. And it sucks that it all comes down to a ref's, kind of fuck up. When it really is hard to hold him that accountable for it because, what the fuck you gonna do, right? He fucking thought it was an illegal knee. It wasn't, but what the fuck? He ain't fucking a cyborg, man. Fucked up situation.
Yeah, I mean, look, no, Jesse wants to go. Go ahead, Jesse.
Look, I agree with you, Fred, but I also have to disagree with you. The ref did the best that he could, but also you have to think about this, and this is a scenario I kept playing in my head, okay? You go to Chris Weidman's camp, you go to a lot of people that are Chris Weidman sympathizers, and the thing they keep saying is, if you make a call, you got to stick to your guns. And I think that's the dumbest possible thing to say. Because, like you said, we're human. We don't, we can't see those little nuances that happens. So once he got the new information that called it a legal knee, then his next procedure was to go in there and tell Chris Weidman, it's time to go. But the problem that occurred was with the athletic commission itself. The doctor came in, started asking Chris Weidman what's going on, how many fingers, walk the line, and everything. Now, people that were at the arena themselves have said that when the whole situation happened, the camera, we didn't get to see a lot of what was going on.
Mhm.
What was going on is the doctor was asking Chris Weidman questions, had him try to walk the line, and he couldn't. He was real wobbly. And yeah, some people are saying maybe he milked it. He was trying to maybe get a DQ from the ref. But the problem is that he presented himself as a concussed fighter. As a doctor, you cannot let a fighter continue. And right when they said, okay, this fight's over, what did Chris do? Oh, he got real perky, right? No, I'm good. I'm ready to go. Let's go. That's his own stupid fault. If you're trying to game the system by putting your fingertips down, then you get kneed in the head. And then they're like, that's a legal knee. But once you're down, you start milking it. Oh, I'm so woozy. Oh, it was a legal knee. Oh, okay. No, never mind. I'm good. Just let me go. That's your own stupid fault. Get your ass to Bellator and try to go get some wins over there, because ever since USADA, you haven't been winning. So, come on, buddy.
All due respect, he won the first round.
Oh, he definitely won the first round.
So it's not like he was getting punished the whole fight, man.
Wait. Let's be honest. In between the first and second round, did he look good?
On the stool?
On the stool? No, he didn't. Go back and look at in between the first and second round. He's taking heavy breaths.
Yeah,
he looks exhausted.
And what are you, Dr. Drew? How he looked in the corner.
But then look at the second round. How effective were his takedowns? Not very effective. Still doing the same stuff.
Okay.
Mousasi he didn't magically learn how to stop those takedowns, right? Got up. He wasn't as dominant anymore. His gas tank was running out. Let's look at the whole picture though. Like, a guy that was really dominant in the first round started losing steam. In the second round, he sees an opportunity to get an easy win. Tries to take the opportunity, bites him in the ass. You can't blame nobody.
This is why
the ref. You can't be mad at nobody but yourself.
This is why you pricks need a gringo on this show. I don't know if you guys remember this, but Mousasi came out like a bat out of hell in the second round too and started fucking throwing goddamn haymakers at Chris. That might have had a little something to do with him being fucking thrown off balance, because Mousasi lost that first fucking round and thought, all right, time to get the fucking business. Either way, the fight should not have been stopped. I don't give a shit how it plays out. The fight getting stopped was the worst possible outcome for everybody fucking involved, because Chris could have continued. What the fuck?
Right, you couldn't continue that. Real quick, let's get Dave in on this one here real quick before we continue. We're gonna this topic's gonna take a minute, because we all have like this a similar-ish view, but different takes on it. And actually, I like that a lot. So real quick, Dave, get in here with this shit. I'm pretty sure you saw it after the fact, like I did. What did you think?
Yeah, as far as like a raw reaction, yeah, really, the fight could have, it was really close, like Fred and Jess saying. The first round, Gegard came out steaming. Chris Weidman really, gained some advantage positions in the wrestling. He actually had Gegard mounted. Gegard was able to get out of that, sort of the turning point of the fight. And, it led to that little, that tie-up where, that new rule, man, where, I have a mixed reaction, because I'm going based off of what Herb Dean clarified in his opinion on it. He basically said that, like, he wouldn't have called that in the middle of the fight. He would call something as like holding up weight. And we did see that Joe Rogan had him rerun the replay several times and finally get it right. But what really confused me and just about everybody that was watching the fight is the whole like 5-minute recovery thing, because that's not supposed to happen. If it's a low blow, then that's understandable. But when it's illegal strikes, or if he called it wrong, I think, yeah, possibly the fight could have been restarted, maybe in that position, like Fred said. But it's just confusing, because we've never seen that before, where a fighter has basically been TKO'd or it's an illegal strike and they're allowing like a 5-minute period. It's just basically just not allowed. And then the replay thing where they said that it wasn't allowed and then it was after the fact, it just made a bigger shit show of the whole deal, in which we had a great fight kind of end in the worst possible way. In which I think last week, Eddie, when we were talking on our pre-show, I said, I hope to God they don't interview Chris Weidman after a brutal TKO or wherever it may be. Adding everything with that, they still did do the interview with him, and it was a total fucking fuck show. But I don't know if y'all caught Herb Dean's interview with Luke Thomas. A lot of clarification on what that is and how they go about handling a situation like that, and how he would have handled it. So I do believe the fight could have been restarted. It was a damn good fight to end, and that's such a like a horrible way. And in New York, where NYC has kind of been yeah, they've done some damage, you know, as far as like big time fights, and they're ruining basically Chris Weidman's chances at a next UFC opponent, and a lot of money too involved. There's a lot of shit on the line for these guys, and it comes down to New York City Athletic Commission being somewhat careless, but just not having a plan in place, or having the fighters know that, you know, this is the type of outcome that could be determined whether a TKO is in place, which it could have been a clear TKO for Weidman, but it's going to be disputed. Chris Weidman probably could win if he's filing a complaint about it. I really see that happening as well too. So interesting to see what the hell they do going forward though.
Now here's the thing, with that point, we're talking about him trying to get it overturned, right? Here's the problem with it. He's gonna go in there going, "Oh, you're not supposed to," you know, because Ray Longo came out saying, "Oh, you weren't supposed to be allowed to use replay and a bunch of this shit." New York State Athletic Commission just came out, I think either today or yesterday, saying, "Yeah, replay was legal." So basically, they're like setting themselves up to not have to overturn shit. I really think he's gonna have a hard time getting overturned. It's already difficult to get overturned when you have a legit fucking, you know, when you're legit case, right? It's gonna be very difficult to get him now. Now, real quick on the YouTube comments, Prior Rose. And I'm hoping I say that correctly. I'm saying that correctly. She says they asked him what month it was. He said it was February and couldn't say the date. He said he put his fingers down so he couldn't be kneed. Manipulating the rules isn't a good defense. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what it is, right?
But you know what? Okay, but the rule, the way Herb Dean explained it, and the way some other fighter explained it that had it explained to him is, it's not just having both hands down, palms, whatever. The way that the discretion is supposed to be is load bearing. So if you have your fingers down, but you're putting weight on your fingers, then you're still good. Okay, that's load bearing. That's holding you up. You're basically on all fours. Okay, but once you're doing what Chris Weidman was doing, where it's just basically you're just kind of you're just fondling the canvas with your fingertips. Yeah. Then it's up to the referee's discretion on whether that is a legal or illegal shot. Now, I agree with you guys when pretty much every point, except for the fact that the only person that has to blame for this whole situation is Chris Weidman.
I agree.
I mean, once the doctor came in, the first thing he should have done is gone, "I can go. Let me go. Okay, I'm ready to go." Don't most fighters, when they get hit in the nuts, what do? Most of them just want to go, especially if they have an advantage already.
Which is bullshit.
What?
That shit drives me crazy. Let me ask you a question. Have any of y'all ever been kicked in the nuts real good?
Yeah, it hurts.
Unfortunately.
Wow.
Fucking jiggle your dick around and do a couple jump up and down. I tell you what, I got kicked in the nuts one time by this broad named LaQuisha. Square the fucking nuts. And I tell you what I did. I fucking took a knee for about 6.5 fucking minutes, and I couldn't breathe for about 30 seconds. I love it when these guys grab their fucking dick and jump around and go, "Oh, got me in the nuts." That bullshit. Nuts. You fucking hit the dirt.
There you go.
And also,
but you look at those fighters and they want to continue. Chris Weidman didn't have that look of wanting to continue. He laid down. He was all woozy. I mean, I agree. Like, in the moment, in the fight, your adrenaline's running so hot, you could ask him what his name is, and he probably is going to have a second or two to think about it. But if you're milking it like that and you're laying down, you can't walk a line, dude, you're concussed. That's your fault. You can't recover out of nowhere once they say we're going to call the fight and then be like, no, let me fight. That's just not how it works, man.
Yeah. Listen. I paid 60 fucking hard-earned dollars for this goddamn event. As long as he's in the right year,
the fuck?
They let him fight. All right. He was close enough. March wasn't too long ago. All right. I don't think everybody should get their fucking panties all wet just because he thought it was March. March was like 6 days ago.
February.
It's not his mistake.
Hey, and
whatever.
Also,
whatever. You're splitting hairs. He knew it was 2017. That's better than most.
And then keep in mind too, fellas, like with Herb Dean, his explanation of everything, he basically said, you know, Dan's a damn good referee. He knows his shit cold, but sort of a bad position where he was at. He don't want to be in like a straight line, is what Herb explained. And I think had he made it have better position, he could have probably called the strike as legal and a clear TKO win, because it had a lot of stink at the end of that bout. So,
but yo, if Dan don't stop that fight, y'all don't think that wins the fight, right? Y'all don't think that Chris
The
just
knees?
lays down and the fight's over? Yeah, the knees.
No.
Right. So like a TKO win for fucking Gegard is egregious here, man.
Mhm.
Like if Dan didn't put his stupid hand in the way, yeah, maybe Gegard was hurt a little bit, but let's not be stupid. This wasn't like Anderson Silva fucking knee and Bisping, where he looked like he got shot by a sniper rifle.
Yeah.
You know, Chris low-key ate the knee. It's splitting. It's around a bit, and I'm sure he was hurt, no doubt. But it wasn't fucking like a full-on crazy right hand or high kick or some shit. That wouldn't have ended the fight had dude not jumped the fuck in and intervened. So
Right. No, and it's true. But here's the thing, like once he got kneed, and on YouTube comments, Mousasi, not Mousasi, but Mousasi on the YouTube comment says, when everyone thought the knees were illegal, well, I've been told everyone that he could not continue. I think he screwed himself with that. And that's kind of how I took it when I was watching it. And again, I watched it after the fact because I had heard about the bullshit that went down. So I had to see it myself. So I watched the pay-per-view, and I got to that point, and he did act like he was all fucked up. It was like, oh, the knees are illegal. Oh, I can't go on. Oh, you know.
Then he was
Well,
good.
You know,
hold on. Did he say that? Did he say I cannot continue? Do any of you?
That's the problem. No, you're right. That's the problem. Is there any audio with that? Because you're right. I haven't heard.
Does
any
anybody
audio.
actually hear? Because if
Listen. The audio is the doctor asked him, Chris, can you continue? And Chris plays the silent, retarded. He's just kind of looking at the ref, kind of like seeing what the next play is. Your problem.
but that's
all right,
not saying no.
Yeah.
But if you're a fighter that's ready to fight, you say yes. I'm ready.
And that's what I'm trying to get at here. Is he didn't say, okay, I'm ready to go until they started saying that the knees were legal and the fight was over. As soon as they started saying that, no, I'm good to go. Like, what the fuck, dude?
That but be all that as it may, he never said I cannot continue. Stop this fight.
As far as we know, he didn't. You're right.
Right.
And also, you fellas do remember not that long ago a bit of a controversial ending in a similar way where the actual strike was a fight-ending strike and ended up in a no contest. Tim Means and Cowboy Oliveira against the fence. The knee clearly a shot that ended the fight where it was called a no contest, but a similar thing where the strike, like you said, Fred, it couldn't have not been the fight-ending strike right there at that knee, but it could have been a follow-up of a barrage of punches on his back. Who knows? But just nothing but controversial shit at the end. And now after the fact, it's sort of mixed opinions on everybody. But I think they'll get it right. I think they did get it right, though. I think that Gegard should deserve that TKO, though, in my opinion, though, in the end.
And then Miss Rosen.
No fucking way.
No,
that's a no contest.
It should be with it.
It should have been a doctor stoppage.
Yeah, not a TKO.
Yeah,
not a TKO because TKO kind of assumes that Gegard finished the fight. Basically, he finished Chris Weidman. It should have been doctor stoppage.
And a doctor stoppage fucking insinuates that he was like cut real bad or something. Man, this is a fucking no contest. This was a bullshit thing. This wasn't real. Like, this is all horse shit. It's not a TKO. It's not a win for Gegard because we don't know. David, you're right. Maybe Chris falls down and Gegard elbows the shit out of him. Maybe fucking Chris gets a little jolt of adrenaline and shoots a double leg on Gegard. Gegard is not a great wrestler. He got dominated that first round.
Oh, yeah.
This is a fucking no contest, man. I know I heard that Dana White said that there'll be no rematch. I don't give a shit what nobody says. I say they run it back ASAP.
They need to. If they're re-saying Gegard, that's a fucking fight. Remake.
Not in New York. Anywhere but New York, that fight though.
No shit.
That's the thing, right? No. Now fighters are gonna be like, "Fuck fighting New York. Fuck that." You know what I mean? It's just a pain in the ass. Yeah. And Miss Rose here on the YouTube saying the 5 minutes, according to Luke Thomas, is the amount of time they are given to assess damage and consult second opinion. So that's what the 5 minutes was about. So
cool. I'm all down with it. Fuck it. Give him 5. Give him an additional 5. Just fucking don't stop the fucking fight when the dude is clearly fucking saying, "Let's go." Fuck it. Who cares what he said 2 minutes ago? Mum's the word. Act like you didn't hear that. Whatever he said. Fuck it. He's saying he can go. Let him go.
Yeah.
Fuck. They're grown men. They're here to do the damn thing. Let them fucking, he's saying he can go now. Let's go. Fuck.
But Fred, that's the thing though. Like, you ask anybody that gets knocked out by Mark Hunt 2 minutes later, they're all gonna say, yeah, I'm good to go. I just kind of fell down, fell asleep for a minute. Like, Chuck Congo might say the same thing. Yeah. No, I was good. I was good through all of that. No, I wasn't even hurt. Yeah, right, dude. Like, once you're concussed and you the doctor assesses you and you're concussed, that's it, man. That's your fault. You can't, like, how many fighters try to lie and game the system? What fighter was it that had his eyes shut and the doctor had his hands in front of his eye and he was trying to touch the fingers, trying to stay in that fight? Who was that?
I can't remember.
A couple months ago.
That sounds fucking familiar.
Did you just equate
one way or another?
Did you just equate that weak ass knee that Gegard gave Chris with Mark motherfucking Hunt punching you in the dome piece?
No, I'm saying that most fighters would fight to continue. He wasn't fighting to continue. He was laying down and playing the game, just like he was with his little fingertips on the canvas. Once you play the game and you get burned, you can't be mad, dude.
No, but he's got a point. All right, and now let's talk Mousasi here. First of all, he's a free agent, could go anywhere he wants. People are thinking he's going to take off the Bellator. I don't see it that way. Real quick, each one of you, starting with Dave here, does the UFC need to re-sign Mousasi?
Yeah, hell yeah, 100%.
Fred?
Need is a touchy word. Need is a word like love. It gets thrown around a lot. I don't know if they need to sign Mousasi. It should. He's championship material. He's still young and in his prime. They definitely should. They should open up the piggy bank and keep Mousasi. And what the fuck? The last thing they want is him strolling over the Bellator, which we all know is exactly what the fuck he's going to do. So, not need, but it'd be real good advice to keep him.
Definitely. Jesse, if you're the UFC, do you re-sign Mousasi?
Yes. Will they? Probably not. I think they're going to let him walk, and he's probably going to get a nice offer from Rizin or something.
That would be the move, right? If not the UFC, it should be Rizin. All right.
Yeah.
Are you guys? What are we doing? What show am I? Are you guys smoking crack?
No. I'm saying if he doesn't stay. If he doesn't stay, don't go to Rizin.
Do you motherfuckers really think that Gegard Mousasi goes to Rizin if the UFC lets him go? Scott Coker would suck your Mexican dick before he let Gegard Mousasi go to Rizin. Y'all are fucking crazy. The way that they're signing people.
Oh, Jesus. The reason I'm saying that is because he had a huge career in Dream. Like, sure, he did great in Strike Force, but he had a huge career in Dream too. I think it depends. At that point, it's just whoever spends more money on him.
Mm-hmm. It would have helped. If it was a clear KO, TKO, it would have helped him the best for the UFC. But right now, where he's at, that controversial shit, I don't know if that hurt him that much. But Gegard is the truth, though, at 185 for sure.
Definitely. And then on Twitter here, GJS saying, I think if the new rule can cause that result, it should just allow knees to the head of if an opponent is doing the downward dog position. Why don't they just allow knees in the ground at that point? Fuck it. You know what I mean? Like,
why don't they just take the hands away and do a knee? Take a knee, motherfucker, like in football, so that I can take you down easy as fuck if you drop your knee. I bet you motherfuckers don't just drop a knee to avoid getting kicked in the face, because then they'll get fucking mounted. Yeah. But fuck it. Right. Fuck them hands, Jack.
All right. Before we move on to the next thing here, Jeremiah says no way he goes to Rizin. Who knows? We'll see.
Oh, yeah. Also, too, Herb Dean said he voted against the rule, too, in place that ended up being the fuckery, at the epicenter of this fight. So just add that to close that topic off.
All right. And then to top it off here, Judo Eddie on Twitter. If they don't sign Mousasi or Jacare, will they re-sign anyone? These are two of the best fighters out there. He's got a point, but we'll see. It depends. I think the fact that Jacare's age is kind of going against him, I think, a little bit, but we'll see.
Yeah, but think about it. Think about it, though. I mean, I don't know if the next topic is going to be the main event, but look at that division right now. Now you have the number one guy, the number one contender retiring. The champ has basically nowhere to go except for wait for a guy that is coming off suspension in a couple months. And then you look at the rest of the division, you've got nothing. They let go of two guys that could have been definite contenders, could have been actual fights, like interesting fights. Phil Davis, even though nobody likes those guys, but they would have been at least people to fill up the time between now and Jon Jones coming back. I mean, It's just a terrible division now.
All right. Let's move it on. All right. Let's talk about the main event here. Actually, let's go back a tiny bit before we start. No, never mind. We'll do it afterwards because Jon Jones comes into this shit. Believe me. Okay. All right. DC chokes out Rumble Johnson in the second round. There's a whole there's so many pieces to this fucking story. All right. You can go from Rumble's corner. If you read the transcripts, they're losing their fucking mind, wondering what the fuck he's doing. Right. And to the point where they stop talking to him, to after the fight, they just walk away, it's just so much there, all right? But let's start with the fight itself. DC chokes him out in the second round. Why in the fuck did Rumble try to wrestle him? Can someone tell me this shit? One of the best strikers, if not the best striker at 205. And he tried to wrestle arguably the second best wrestler, maybe the best wrestler in 205, at 205. Fred, what the fuck?
Bruh. I got nothing. Seriously, I have no idea. He was actually hurting him when they was striking. I have no idea why he kept driving him against the fence and getting in clinch situations with fucking Daniel Cormier. I have no. His coaches are screaming not to do it. That's how he lost the fight last time, essentially. Dude's probably the best grappler at 205 outside maybe Jon Jones. Idea, I don't know. Literally, I was watching that fight dumbfounded whenever that he would push him against the cage and initiate take him down, even though he did get the takedown one time for what, 6 seconds. That's the thing too. Even when Jon Jones got DC down, he didn't keep him down. Bruh, you might take DC down. You are fucking not going to keep him down and control him. Fucking forget about it. I don't give a shit who you are. That's not going to happen. You might pull a sneak move on him because Anthony Johnson's strong as fuck, but you ain't holding him down and dominating him on the ground, dog. Like, worst game plan ever.
Well, here's the thing. That wasn't the game plan. He fucking deviated from the game plan in the worst way possible.
As far as fighter execution goes, worst, like, manipulation of a game plan fucking ever. I don't know what to say.
A lot of people are thinking he quit. Dave, do you think he quit?
Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, I didn't even watch the fight live. I was actually at the King of the Cage event here in Albuquerque, but I did watch it later in the evening and just seeing everybody's tweets about it and their distaste for just what happened. And when I seen it play out, everything that went into it, the whole Tailgate thing. And then, if Rumble, went into the fight looking to retire, I think he's already been vocal about, possibly retiring before. And going into this fight, the biggest fight of his career, man, he wanted to, knock off, Cormier, where he had a definite chance in the fight. Fucking guy won round one, broke Cormier's nose, was setting him up with some nice strikes. And then, just total what the fuck moment. Really, just not a fight that I enjoyed at all. Really, we haven't seen DC defend the belt in I don't know how long it's been since Gus, right? So I'm glad that DC did finish the job, choke him out, and really just kind of bully him and allow him to sort of like DC said, allow him to gas out and then just take the fight over in round two because DC said, yeah, clearly the first round was all AJ. So, but for him to for DC in his moment to let Anthony get on the mic, announce his retirement and all that type of shit, just adding to more just unknowns at this point and talks of him going to the fucking realm of the NFL or the Rams or something. Where the hell did that come from? You know what I'm saying? So, but DC did own the mic in New York. I think he embraced his role, and I think he said all the right things.
I thought for a second you were gonna say embrace the grind. I was gonna throw something at you from here and hope it lands. I hate that shit. No. Sorry.
A little bit WWE-ish when he started to go back from Jon Jones to Jimmy Manoa, but totally just authentic DC, man, just owning the moment, and props to him for that because he was just stating facts, you know what I'm saying, and shining in New York with the gold. He's still the champ. Hate him or like him, DC's a goddamn bulldozer. So he definitely broke Anthony Johnson not once but twice clearly now.
Jesse, did he quit? Did Rumble quit on us? Did Rumble quit on himself? And did he piss off his corner so much he just stopped talking?
I think the whole problem is that nobody knew that he was going to retire. And I think had we known that, I think a lot more people would have realized that this was going to be the outcome. Man, I just think this is the worst possible thing. I was pissed. I don't know about Fred over there, but I was utterly pissed after that fight. Because I paid hardcore money for that pay-per-view, and I was super pissed about that, man. Because that clearly was a guy that wasn't ready to fight a championship fight. That was a guy clearly thinking about not taking any damage. Once he got hit once from DC, that was pretty much the setup to him just kind of clinching and kind of just getting, giving DC the position that he needed to win that fight in a much easier fashion. I was utterly pissed off, and that whole DC rant on the mic really proved to me exactly why everybody hates DC, because he tries to come off as a genuine nice guy. I'm a nice guy. I don't talk crap about people. I just tell the truth, blah, blah, blah. And then he goes on the mic and acts like a total ass. So I am happily awaiting Jon Jones to come back and, in and, rightfully take his crown that is deserving. Because I'm tired of watching DC just kind of play this game of that he wants to be the good guy, but he's not the good guy. And now he's trying to embrace the bad guy, and it still comes off as so fake and so dumb. And I don't know. I just don't know where DC is at. I just can't get a good read of DC. What he does on UFC Tonight and stuff, I like that. His analysis of stuff is great. Personality-wise, as a fighter, I just utterly hate it. And I can't wait for him to lose to the big bad at 205. So
I just have a feeling that fight's not going to happen. I think he's going to retire for that even happens, man, for real. But we'll see. It all depends on whether Jon Jones can keep his as like fucking going on the straight line. Now, real quick before we keep going here, a couple of YouTube comments. Mousasi on the YouTube comment says, "I feel a bit ripped off by Rumble. Didn't even try to fight smart. Gave up as soon as possible and retired right after that letdown performance. That really left a bad taste in my mouth." And Miss Rose says, "Imagine how many people put so much money on him. He had everything it took to win. That kick to the head alone would have wrecked most fighters." That's the biggest takeaway I saw on Twitter, was people put money on Rumble to win because they literally thought they legit thought he had a shot, and fucking it all went crazy after the weigh-ins. I don't know if you guys noticed, after the weigh-ins, the fact that it took DC 2 times to get in there and he had to allegedly cheat to make weight, and we'll talk about that in a second. Fucking bets on Rumble fucking went up. A lot of people put money on Rumble like, "Ooh, DC looks like shit." But Fred, you got something?
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, I tell you what, man. I actually kind of like DC, man. You know what I mean? Like, for all the shit that he's actually went through in his real life, becoming the champion and story, I actually enjoy. But to a degree, I agree with Jesse in that I think that DC kind of fucked up on the mic afterwards. I think he got a little cute, and who gives a shit about Jimmy Manoa, bruh? Like, what we all want to see. Who's in the crowd. Like, you fucked up because you could have really sold. What fight was it where he was fucking, Jon Jones, get your shit together. I'm waiting on you.
No, that was right after he won the title, yeah.
That's how you do it, man. He knows what's happening, man. We all want the Jon Jones rematch. Like, he should have went straight to Jon Jones, and that was his chance to really sell that rematch. And I felt like he wasted time on. I felt like him talking to Jimmy Manoa, another layer of weirdness to the night. Like, what? He's talking to he does know that John's right there behind him, right? Like the real champ and the dude that threw him a beating. Like, the fuck's he talking to Jimmy Manoa for? Like, it was all a little strange. Like, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, John, yeah, that guy. Well, get your license back, John." Stop it, Daniel. You know what time it is. That's the guy you got into a fight with in a brawl. Post fucking whatever the fuck.
Yeah, and also
pre-fight presser.
After the event, we all know DC's on a 45-day suspension, so that time frame could lead right into the Jon Jones when he's eligible to fight. I think it's like July 7th, so the time might line up. So therefore, late summer, September-ish, somewhere around there.
And AJ retired.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on? Okay, you fucking poor brown pricks. What the fuck do you guys think that AJ? Okay, first off, do you think he's actually going to retire and not fight again? And if you do think that he's actually going to fucking retire, you think he's going to go do?
Well, here's the thing. The popular thought, because he put LA Rams all over his fucking Twitter, everyone's like, oh, he's going to go play with him. No, he didn't even play college ball. Fucking forget that shit. What it sounds like is maybe he'll be coaching. He'll be like a strength coach or something like that for like an NFL team. You never know. And Henry Hoops thinks that's kind of where he's going with it. But Rumble, I think he'll be back, dude. I don't think this is the end. I think he comes back at heavyweight, and then we'll get that Jon Jones fight at heavyweight in like a year. I really don't think he's gonna last outside of fighting.
Or he could cut down to 170 and fight Josh Koscheck and Bellator again, right?
If he wants to kill himself.
I like that. I like that.
Don't. That's not stupid
Fucking
shit.
Jesus, is he actually gonna fight again?
Jesse.
I think he set himself up, right? Didn't he? At the presser, he said, you know, what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to try it out. If it doesn't work out, I could come back. So he set himself up to come back. He left the door open.
Of course.
I think
There you go.
he's definitely going to come back. I don't think he's going to be like any kind of coach. Maybe he'll be some kind of representative or some kind of front office type guy. But come on, or maybe a nutritionist, because he was getting himself down to 170 before. So maybe a nutritionist of some sorts. But I don't think he's going to be working, you know, any kind of things like that for the Rams.
Right.
It was a weird question. I don't know if you guys saw the press conference with Dana White after the event, where someone randomly just asked Dana White, "Hey, how do your contracts work if a fighter wants to go play in the NFL?" And like Dana White was like, "What are you are you talking about?"
He was confused.
Yeah, like it was the weirdest question ever, because he like, it has nothing to do with any fighter on your roster currently. It's just a random question. Like it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. But anyway, you heard what Dana White said. Whatever, man.
I want to hear that dude from MMA Media is a joke. I want to hear his take on that stupid question, just because I'm curious. All right, and I read a couple things here on Twitter. Rena says Rumble quit. He had one foot out the door, and GJS says I'm with Fred. DC's all right. His shit talk came after the fight when most anyone will be flying high. That's when the cocky side comes out. Jones's fuck ups have cost DC millions. Jones should not be allowed to have a title fight straight away. Prove you have your shit together. I'm with that. And
Dana said that too. Dana said he doesn't want to book the fight as far as like a headliner because he has no faith in fucking Jon Jones.
He'll show up. Yeah, no one does really, except I don't know, Dick Riders, Dick Rider Jones, or Jones Dick Riders. I don't know what people want to call people. All right, so let's talk about. And a lot of people were like, "Well, don't talk about it." No, we got to talk about it. The towel gate thing. Everybody knows that shit works. Like, just putting a little bit of pressure. I mean, go try it on your own scale. Go to your bathroom, stand on your scale, put the index fingers very lightly on your counter, and watch yourself lose 15 fucking pounds. It's that easy, okay? There's people are making a shitload of videos on it. Now, Fred, here's the thing. I'm all about, if you get away with it, fuck it. I'm with Joey Diaz on this shit. Uncle Joey was like, he got away with it. Fucking cocksucker. Let him fucking fight. You know what I mean? I'm with that shit. If you cheat and you get away with it, fuck it. What do you think, Fred?
Listen,
it was a dirty ass move still. But go ahead.
First off, exactly. We all wanted the fight. Lord knows we would have been devastated had it got stopped right there. So fuck it. But beyond that, here's the reality. We'll never know.
Yep.
How many douchebags put out videos of them dancing in on their tiptoes, fucking pushing up on things, fucking towels, their Brazilian girlfriends? I don't give a shit. We'll never know whether it worked or didn't work for DC. It seems shady. Make no mistake about it. It seems like some sneaky ass shit. Mm-hmm. And if you at that point want to think that DC's a cheater, that's an argument to be had. But far as like, you know what I'm saying, trying to really ostracize him or trying to make something happen of it, nobody will ever know whether it did or didn't help or whether he was just trying to cover the fact that he's got a tiny snake. I let the towel fall, Jack. You can drop that towel, baby.
That's the thing, though. Like, it damn sure looked like he was fucking pushing up on it. But again, he got away with it. Here's my problem with it. Why did no one say shit at the weigh-in? Everyone was sitting there with fucking cameras. All these journalists and media people whose job it is to fucking observe and ask fucking questions. They say shit. You don't think if you're sitting in the front?
All due respect.
What?
What are they supposed to do, Eddie? Fucking throw up pitchforks?
Ask him, no, just yell at a question. Yeah, hey,
I'll tell you what.
Is he holding the towel? Just fucking have some balls in it and ask a question. Don't be so afraid of the UFC fucking taking, Hawani in your ass. You'll only be banned for 15 minutes, just like that douchebag. All you gotta do is do a fucking live stream and cry for 2 hours. You'll be back in a second. Gives a fuck. Dave, sorry.
I'll tell you what, guys. No, I'm gonna tell you exactly why the belt ended up being on the line, the weight issue. I'm gonna tell you exactly why it happened, because it could have been a bigger shit show than we'll ever know about. Like Fred said, we'll never know. But even to a further extent, all right, say DC didn't make the weight, say he ended up having to weigh in at 206 and he wasn't losing any other weight. If he ended up winning the fight, Rumble, of course, would have been the only one to actually win the belt. But if DC would end up winning the way it played out, the belt would have been vacant. So imagine what kind of fucking shit show it would have been at that point. So the belt was on the line. So we got to be happy that the belt actually was on the line, because it could have been Jon Jones laughing in the crowd or Jimmy Manuwa laughing at DC as he's not even actually the champion who just beat Anthony Rumble Johnson in a devastating fashion. You know what I mean? So as shitty as this card was and controversial as it was, it could have been even further with that actually adding to it with the vacant title on the line, I guess. So
there's a lot of what ifs with this fight. Both like the main and Cormier situation. So many what ifs on this shit, right? But I'm glad we got a title fight, even if fucking it went the way it went basically the way a lot of people thought it would go. The fact that DC had a hard weight cut, to me, like I really thought when he did that shit, it made me like wonder if AJ had the upper hand on this one. I mean, like everyone was saying, a head kick alone, all it takes is one punch from AJ, one strike from AJ, it could end a fight no problem. You would think a guy that cut weight, that had an awful weight cut, would be easier to knock out, right? The whole thing's fucking insane, crazy. And now AJ's manager, not so much AJ, but AJ's manager wants to get that money. He supposedly Rumble's representatives, aka Ali Abdelaziz, that motherfucker, fucking want to go after that 20% of DC's purse because of the weighing thing. Which, by the way, it's not going to go anywhere because it's already over. You know what I mean? Like, say something at the fucking weighing. But it's a money grab in my opinion. But anything you guys got on that? Go ahead, Dave.
No, that's what I was saying though. Like basically, Jon Jones would have won the fight sitting in the crowd that night. Say DC had to weigh in above and not championship weight, still winning. DC would have won the fight, but Jones would have won, and then he would end up getting the rematch instead. It would have worked out in his favor. So,
bruh,
Jimmy Manuwa
205 has been in limbo.
DC said he'd waste Jimmy Manuwa in one round, and I agree to that. So,
205 has been in limbo since Jon Jones left.
Yep.
DC's never really. I like DC, but he's never really been the real champ. Any real heads already know what time it is. And until they do that rematch, that's the real 205 fight. Period.
But guys, isn't that the fight? Like Fred said, isn't that the fight that DC after the fact should have been like gunning for? Should have been screaming for? Because anybody that really knows the sport knows that DC ain't really the champ. I mean, he's defended a belt, and honestly, it's more like an intro belt. Like even if Jon Jones got stripped, he is still the guy that beat the current champ and has beat pretty much everybody that DC has beat, except for AJ. AJ is the only guy that he never got to fight. But I mean, the fact still remains that there's a guy out there that beats you. And it's still basically the number one pound guy in a lot of people.
Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing. The DC that everyone calls fake, the nice guy DC, the one that wants to be friends with everybody, that guy was calling for Jon Jones. That guy was like, oh, Jon Jones, get your shit together and waiting for you. The only fight that I need to do is Jon Jones. I need to fucking fight Jon Jones. I need to beat Jon Jones. DC has clearly changed up. He's embraced the fact that everyone boos him, right? And now he's going to say shit to piss everybody off. What pissed people off more than him saying this guy's not eligible? Fuck the real champ. I want let's fight Jimmy Manuwa. Nobody wanted to hear that shit, and everyone booed him for it, right? I think he's just playing it up.
He's been waiting 2 years for Jon, too. Keep in mind, so he has like all the promotion, the fucking money. Dana White said that he's not going to pump all these millions of dollars to promote a fight that he doesn't believe is going to happen. So there's a lot of shit that goes into it, and I don't blame DC. He has been waiting Jon has been fucking up outside of the cage, but inside of the cage, he's the man to beat. So we all want to see that fight, but I'm with Eddie. I don't think we actually see it, but I hope for late summer. And yeah, we hopefully, as fight fans and hardcores that remember the Jon Jones rise and DC being, you know, a tough fight for him, and they're forever tied together. We all want to see it, but it's a very slim chance that we do actually see it this year.
I mean, look, unless Jon Jones keeps his shit together, comes back, and then fights DC this year, we're not getting that fight. I don't think ever again. I think we'll get one more fight from DC, and DC will call it a career, because he's 38 years old, is enough of the beating, in the shitty weight cut, or shittiest weight cut he's ever had in his career. Apparently, this time around, that's a big factor, I think, towards whether or not he wants to continue putting himself through all that shit. So it's kind of shitty.
You also heard that he's looking to vacate that title, move up to heavyweight because of the weight cuts. So to me, that also indicates that another person that somebody here is a huge fan of is probably never coming back.
Oh, Kane? Yeah, dude, I'm not surprised.
Nope, he's not coming back.
There's a reason why DC dropped to 205, and now he's talking about moving back up to heavyweight. That's real telling as well. But my take on the whole towel thing, hey man, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, right?
Yep.
I mean, and honestly, like Eddie said, if there's journalists there, we all know the rule. You're not supposed to touch the towel. You know, this whole walking away and coming back, what was it, like 2 minutes later at the most?
Not even, yeah.
And losing like a pound at 1.2 pounds? It's like, Jesus, either he took the quickest dump ever, or took the longest piss ever, or both. I mean, there's no way he loses that much weight in that fast.
And that's the thing. I know the rule. I fucking know the rule. I've watched enough fucking weigh-ins in my day to fucking know you're not supposed to do that shit. And I know that's a real trick. Wrestlers, everyone know this shit. People that weigh in, everyone know that shit. You're not supposed to touch the towel. And he fucking had it right on there, and he was pressing down on it. So, look, it doesn't matter anymore. It's fucking over. It's in the past. All right, but it's going to be fun as fuck to talk about with little trivia games later in the future. So, anything else you want to talk about before we move on to the rest of the card here? Cool. All right. Real quick, I just retweeted out, and I wish I could show it on the camera because it's not doing that great here. Whatever. It's a fucking, like, you know those posters, the fight posters? This one says UFC 211, United versus random Asian guy. Sunday, April 9th. Tickets on sale now, but seat not guaranteed. Whoever made this is fucking like quick gold on that meme. I just retweeted it, fucking, or you can just probably look it up on Twitter. It's fucking great. Anyway, all right. So let's move on to the next fight here. It's I mean, to me, what was, in my opinion. Now you guys tell me who the most impressive fighter to you was. I want to say the most impressive, but I kind of became a fan of Calvillo, right? She was slick with it. Took on a fighter that's bigger than her, supposedly had the striking advantage on her, and fucking took her out. And then she comes out, and sure, people were like, oh, you can't steal promos and shit. Okay, but I'm not surprised motherfuckers was fun. I thought it was funny. I had a good laugh out of that. Dave, you're most impressive fighter on the rest of the card.
Without a doubt, most impressive or most unexpected of the night was definite Charles Oliveira choking out Will Brooks.
Oh,
definitely. Yeah. That's highly unlikely, you know what I mean? Because it's kind of weird too, because Will Brooks losing the fight, I've seen him lose his first professional fight at the Santa Ana Center. I was there Saturday night, and then I found out that he ended up getting choked by Oliveira. So sort of weird. 7 years later, yeah. So I'm always like forever tied to that Will Brooks Bellator event. But yeah, that's big ups for Oliveira, man. I think he plans to like move back to 45, but we'll see about that. He looked pretty sharp at 55, but. One other guy who was really, really impressive, and he's on the known tough bastard watch list, Kamaru Usman, man. That guy it cannot be stopped. Like, that guy is just tearing through. Got 5-0. Look for that guy in big time fights coming up in a division of killers where he's already said he'd like to take on Damian Maia. But most impressive of the night for sure, Kamaru Usman, absolutely.
All right, Fred.
All right, first off, I would like to say, Eddie, you have once again proved yourself to be the biggest racist on the show. Always siding with the Latinas.
They were both Latinas. If I picked fucking Paul, it would have been
no coincidence that she happens to be a Latin broad. I respect your hustle. Don't get me wrong. But no, Dave was right. Listen, man, I was most impressed with Dubrox. Mm-hmm. I didn't think he was going to beat Will Brooks, let alone like that. He fucking steamrolled him low key, fucking submitted him easily in the first round. That was by far the most impressive win on the card for me, and most surprising too.
All right, Jesse.
Wow. I guess I was the only one assuming that Will Brooks wasn't as good. I really thought the most surprising guy was Miles Jury on his return fight after being away for so long, and the way he really stopped back into the octagon and really took care of business. I mean, he did exactly what he was supposed to do to a guy of that caliber. So and again, I have to really give credit to Dave over there. Kamal Usman is definitely a guy that we should definitely start looking at. Just very GSP-like, but it looks like he's a bit more powerful. Looks like he puts a lot more pop into his shots. But yeah, definitely some highlights there in the undercard.
Yeah, 30-26 on 2 cards in that Usman fight against Strickland, who Strickland's a fucking beast too as well, and he manhandled that dude. So,
I mean, I'm not a fan of Usman at all, but it is what it is. He gets the W. All right, let's make this one quick here with Bisping. Bisping's still talking shit about fucking everybody, right? He's talking shit about DC, talking shit about Rumble, talking shit about who else is he talking shit about? He fucking went off on everybody. GSP not signing the fucking agreement. There's no date for the fight. Is this dude gonna fight anybody? Anyone know, Dave?
Yeah. Actually, I did hear that they're supposed to announce a date for the GSP fight this week sometime. So I don't know if it's the end of the week, Friday. Shit usually pops off on Wednesdays when we do these advocate shows, but look for that to be something in the news soon because they got to book that fucking fight, man. Like, they already did a press conference for it. There's a lot. They're trying to build this fight up. It's 2 fucking legends. So why the hell not? Why don't they have a date for this fight? So, yeah, Bisping's picking, like, shots at everybody. He's on every podcast. It's somebody different every time. Everybody's a fucking cheetah, and he holds the gold. And that's it.
Honestly, dude, that shit would be funny. Like, the first time I heard it, hey, it's a cheetah, it's a cheetah. Like, it's funny the first time. After a million times, like, Bisping, you just love saying that shit, motherfucker. But is what it is. I mean, Fred, do you think we actually get that fight? Or, is GSP just fucking poking at the bear here just to fuck with him a little bit?
It's good to be the king, man.
Yeah.
I can dig it. Bisping's like the unsung hero, the cockeyed cocksucker never thought that he'd actually be the champ, and now that he is, he's rubbing all of our noses in it. I don't blame him. Fuck it, man. He's doing his thing. He should not be the champion. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I think he got lucky. I think that if him and Luke fought again, Luke wins that fight easily if he's cautious and doesn't get cute. But whatever, man. Bisping is the champ right now, so he's shooting his mouth off. But yeah, I mean, I suppose the GSP fight's going to get done. The big problem was just that Bisping wanted it sooner rather than later. He shot his mouth off. I'll fight Yoel in the meantime. No, you won't. No, you won't, Jack, because then you won't get the fucking GSP fight. So what's really going to happen, he going to wait and fight GSP on GSP's time frame because as Floyd Mayweather likes to put it in Floyd's terms, GSP's the A side. You know what I'm saying? Bisping's the B side, dog. And he's comfortable and has said that. That's why he wants this fight, because he wants the money fight. So and when push comes to shove, before Bisping fights a fucking monster, he gonna wait a couple months and fight a littler dude for a shitload more money.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Bisping's running his mouth, but he gonna wait.
Also, too, Jesse, before you talk, I was thinking Bisping might be waiting for Gegard and Jacare to both leave the UFC, where after this weekend that could be a possibility. And then there's 2 killers that he has to avoid right there, dealing strictly with Yoel at that point at the top. So, yeah, interesting times, not only for 205, it's already trickling down to 185. And like Fred said, it's good to be the king, and Bisping's rubbing that shit in bad right now.
For sure. Jesse, do you think it happens or no?
I don't really care until it actually happens.
Yeah, and that's my take as well. I don't get 2 shits until they make that shit official. I'm getting fucking tired of all these money fights and all these, is it going to happen or not? Because unfortunately, we're about to talk about it again. Motherfucking Floyd Mayweather against Conor McGregor. Now, we just talked about it a second ago, A side, B side, all that bullshit, which, by the way, I enjoy the fuck out of that, okay? Because that's Floyd Mayweather sticking it to Conor McGregor. And that shit's funny to me because I can't wait to see what Conor McGregor says back. Because Conor ain't barely said shit He's barely said shit. So he's better be working with he better be like working with like The Rock on his promos or like Stone Cold or somebody. That's what he does. He pre-writes his shit. So anyway, let's talk about that. Jeff Mayweather and Bob Arum talking all this 80-20 split shit. Dana White coming back at him, telling him that they're fucking assholes and they're crazy and all that stuff. According to Dana White's like, they're dealing with Conor McGregor, right? We're gonna get this fucking fight or not? I'm getting fucking tired of hearing about this shit. Your prediction, Fred. If it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, who's to blame?
Jesus Christ, it's anybody's guess if it doesn't happen. Listen, look how long it took to make Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, and they're in the same sport, man. So you can imagine that this is going to take a lot of time. But I think they were saying that Bob Arum and Floyd's pops was saying 80-20, like Floyd in boxing. Come on, bruh. Y'all got to come on in with that. Now, listen, I'll grant Floyd this, and it stings my ass to say it, but the truth is, Floyd is the A side. But not by much. And I'll tell you this right now, Floyd needs Conor just as much. Floyd ain't no fool. Why you think he ain't fighting Triple G? He can fight Canelo again. He ain't fighting none of those boys. He knows that Conor's the money fight too. Now, Floyd and boxing is obviously where the big dollars are at. But Floyd needs this Conor fight just as much as Conor wants the Floyd fight. Because real talk, say they say fuck it, right? Say Conor says fuck it and comes back to the UFC. Well, he's got a plethora of options. He can fight Nate again. He can fight El Kakui. They can fucking put goddamn Khabib on some steroids and fight him in Russia. You know, move up to 70. He can fight Bisping's cockeyed ass, GSP. We got all kinds of fucking options in our sport, baby. Who the fuck is Floyd gonna fight if Conor walks?
Right. Here's my opinion on why I think you're right. And it's not as much as lack of options as it is easier. Fucking, if he fights, let's say Mayweather fights Triple G. First of all, it's a harder fight, right? But two, then Floyd has to do what he normally has had to do, is promote the whole goddamn thing by himself. He had to do it with Triple G. He had to do it with Canelo. He had to do it with most, or these last few opponents. He had to fucking do the promotion himself, right? With Conor McGregor, he ain't got to worry about that. Conor's gonna do plenty of fucking promoting, plenty. Right. All the talk, all the shit talk, and he's gonna bring all those Irish, the Irish to fly over to fucking watch the fight.
Fuck Irish. Yeah. He's bringing MMA.
MMA as a whole, exactly.
The whole sport. Like he's like what Brock Lesnar did for MMA. Yep. Conor can almost do for boxing, at least for this match. Like there's not an MMA fan on earth that ain't gonna buy that shit, or at least go to their homeboy's house and pitch in. We're all gonna fucking watch, Jack. Most of us. So
it's kind of crazy. Jesse, you think this ever happens, or is this the same thing as the Bisping GSP fight?
Same thing. Who cares? Once they have everything all set up, then I'll start talking about it. Until then, I don't even care.
All right, Dave.
Yeah, I want it to happen. I think Dana White pretty much is the guy that said, if I'm quarterbacking, I'm in a good place with Conor. He's supposed to have his baby being born soon, and he's going to meet with Dana. So I think they'll figure some shit out. And in the meantime, if that doesn't fall through with Floyd, maybe they line him up with Tony Ferguson. I just want to see Conor defend that fucking 55 title at one point. But then again, if that doesn't happen, Nate versus Tony Ferguson for the interim title, I guess I wouldn't hate that either. But I think Dana wants to make this happen, man. I think that press conference post 210, I think we got another raw Dana, post scrum where a lot of media people like really pay close attention to everything that he says there. So he kind of was hinting at that it's in the works. You know what I'm saying? But the money's gonna be right, like you guys are saying. Conor's bringing MMA. Floyd's the king of boxing in the modern era now. So. So much money to be made, man. So I think Dana White likes the money, and I think Bob Arum. I think he said fuck Bob Arum. He's a piece of shit. The same thing for Jeff. But in the end, Dana White just wants to stick it to him and have Conor go in there and lace up old Floyd. So I would love to see it happen, but I'm kind of siding with Jesse that let's not talk about it till it's really officially set in stone, though, for sure.
Okay, quickly before we dead this topic, you guys, and Jesse, I want your opinion on this too, you cocksucker, even though you don't care. What is a good split? What do you think would be the proper negotiations for this? Quite frankly, I think 60-40.
Yep.
20 Conor, 20 UFC. Let's do the damn thing.
I'm with that. I'm with that.
That sounds
64.
good. I think they'll get it done at some point because Conor's got to agree to it to probably make it happen. I think Floyd wants it. And then I don't know if you guys seen it. There was an article, I think it was on Yahoo or Google. Floyd's Bugatti is for sale on eBay right now. So I don't know. It's expensive to have all that shit that Floyd has. So you got to make some money too, right?
Yeah, Jesse. Quick.
65-35.
Yeah.
Good. Floyd.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. True. Yep.
All right. We're running out of time here. We've got about less than 10 minutes. So, huh?
I said I'm not crazy. I'm not gonna say 65 Conor over
65 Conor, baby. Fuck boxing, babe.
All right. Real quick, we got one more thing here before we get to fight bookings. Uriah Faber announces in the next Hall of Famer. Very quickly, Jesse, deserving?
Yes.
Fred?
Yes.
Dave?
Yeah, it was quicker than I thought, but yeah, for sure, deserving.
Okay. Fuck no. He don't deserve none of that shit. Fuck that shit. He didn't win no belt. He didn't beat anybody. I'm kidding. He deserves it. He's a pioneer of the lighter weights. I just don't like him. Sorry. Anyway, which apparently I'm in the minority in more ways than one, clearly. All right. Fight book is there, Dave. What you got?
All right, I'm gonna go in reverse order. I was gonna go from the top down, but I'll go up. I don't know if we mentioned it last, Advocates, though. Low key, the second best guy at 125, Joseph Benavidez, will be fighting Ben Nguyen. So yeah, Joe Benavidez is actually still right there at the top. I mean, the Demetrius is trying to make history this weekend. Maybe those two line up afterwards, and maybe for a third fight. So, but Joe Benavidez, Ben 10 Nguyen. So.
Joseph Benavidez, the most gatekeeper of all gatekeepers, the king of gatekeepers. That guy. Jesus Christ. All right, what's next?
Like if Demetrius Johnson never existed, then Joe Benavidez would be the top guy at 125, right?
It's possible. So anyway, all right, what do you got for next?
UFC New Zealand, which is headlined by Mark Hunt, Derek Lewis. They also added Derek Brunson, Dan Kelly on that card, and at 185, of course. So that is an interesting bout because Dan Kelly's on a fucking run. So
Dan Kelly looking for that money fight.
There it is, right there, right? Down under. We know Dan Hooker's down under too as well, training out of Thailand as well. He's taking on Ross Pearson. So Ross Pearson's still in the UFC. I think he's on like a 4-fight losing streak, but long-term UFC guy, and he's still in there, man. He's still competing up against Dan Hooker at 155. So.
All right, what else we got? Is it?
UFC Dallas added Jessica Aguilar against Courtney Casey. That's the fight that will open up that card, and that card is about as stacked as it's going to get because that's the opening bout there, too, on a Fight Pass prelims. So, UFC 213 International Fight Week. Donald Cerrone and Lawler's on the card, headlined by TJ and Cody, and they recently added your boy Eddie Travis Brown against Oleksiy Oleinik on that card, heavyweights.
Oh, Oleksiy Oleinik gets an easy W. Do your thing, boy. And I think TJ Cody is gonna co-main. They don't have a main event for that yet.
Oh yeah, well in the meantime, because the main event could possibly be fucking Nate against Tony. We don't
Nate
know.
Tony, it could be GSP fucking. It's probably GSP Bisping, but that's what I think. I don't know. International Fight Week, why not? But we'll see. All right.
And then
else?
last but not least, definitely not the least, Holly Holm against Beth Correa. UFC Singapore.
Did anybody else burst out laughing when they fucking heard that shit? Because I almost died laughing.
Why?
Because that's fucking hilarious. Holly Holm's gonna I'm just gonna fucking jab her face off. It'd be over in like no time.
Really, but Holly Holm hasn't been winning here, so I mean, I think this is a good comeback fight for her to finally get a win.
Yeah, well, she's gonna beat the shit out of Correa. It's hilarious to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a gimme for Holm, no?
Fight for Holly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a gimme fight for Holm. That's why I laughed about it. So.
And then also, there's a rumor that Ricardo Lamas and the Zombie are gonna also be added to that card, but they could headline. Yeah, but that fight is gonna happen. It's either on that card or if it's gonna headline the UFC Long Island show when the UFC goes back to New York. So definitely look forward to seeing Lamas and the Zombie though, because that's a great matchup at 145.
If you're gonna miss weight,
please God.
If you're gonna miss weight, New York is the place to fucking miss weight at. It's fucking this shit right here. Go to the DC Towel School.
Have they announced our future savior of the heavyweight division's next fight?
Ngannou, did they have a fight, or is he still trying to get Kane?
No. JDS hasn't pulled out yet, so we're still waiting.
Oh god, if JDS pulls out and Ngannou goes in, oh, I can't wait to see that shit. That'd be fucking hilarious. And you know what? I don't think Kane. I think I've known him. I felt like I've known that Kane's never gonna fight again. That's just that's my opinion. And I think I didn't hear about what DC said about moving up, but I think that kind of solidifies it, right? So, anyway, all right, fellas. What else we got here? I know I had something else. Oh, UFC Kansas City this weekend, headlined by Demetrius Johnson against Wilson Heiss. Should be a competitive fight for at least the first couple of rounds, and then if Heiss doesn't finish DJ. This is going to be another cardio workout for the champion, who is going to more than likely tie Anderson Silva's record for title defenses. The co-main event is Rose Namajunas against Michelle Waterson. Jacare South against Robert Whittaker's on that fight, which is low-key a fucking sick fight. Even though a lot of people give Robert Whittaker no fucking chance. Jeremy Stevens against Renato Moicano. Alexander Volkov against Roy Nelson, and that's the one that kind of weirds me out. Roy Nelson's fighting Alexander Volkov. You would think they would give him a bigger fight. You know, I mean, it's Roy Nelson. I don't know if he's on a losing streak. Anyone know?
Well, he's coming off suspension from when he kicked Dan Miragliotta, right? Or Big John, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Big John, yeah.
Bobby Green makes his return. Hopefully he doesn't dance his way to the fucking cage this time because he lost last time he did that shit.
Or pulled out from the fight.
Yeah. And then there's a sick fight right here. Louis Smolka against Tim Elliott at 125. I thought Tim Elliott was done cutting the band to a flyweight. But that's a sick fight.
Yeah, I got Elliott in that one.
Very good.
All right. And, of course, you could go on there and find all the fights you guys. Of course, it's an early card, by the way. I didn't fucking know that till today. It starts off pretty goddamn early. Just to give you guys the times here before we get off the show. The online prelims, the Fight Pass prelims start at 1 p.m. Pacific time. It's 4 p.m. Eastern. Then Fox, everything else is on Fox, Big Fox. It's 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific time. And the main card's 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time. You'll be done by dinner time if you're in the West Coast. Pretty simple. So,
so I'm talking about, baby, a little bit of day drinking. And let me tell you something. Right now, all you pricks, put it on down fucking calendar. DJ loses this Saturday.
Oh, shit.
DJ gets submitted. It's time.
What?
The MMA gods shine for no man for too long. Got this weird fucking feeling in my bones. DJ's going to get got. I got this weird feeling that it's Ronda Rousey time for him, baby. Ronda Rousey. I'm drunk. It's the end of the show.
All right. And real quick, just to read a few more comments here on YouTube. Jeremiah Deskin says, Shane Burgos, most impressive of the card, possible. And Eastside Rider says, remember the 80s show, Dallas and the Who Shot JR episode? This rivals for that controversy. I think he's talking about the AJ and the DC thing. And then if Jon Jones is champ, let's get War Machine back in the cage. Oh, wait, he's not eligible to compete. Same with Jones. God damn, that's cold. All right.
It's cute. It's cute.
Well, anyway, that's going to do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, you can follow Dave at Dave's MMA Brief. Kirby's at Kirby_MMA. Jesse's at Spawn1983. I'm at Elaw31. Of course, the page is at CrossBonesMMA and at the MMA Advocates. Of course, big shout out to Fight Book MMA. Dude's got our back. Dude's awesome. And, of course, represent. Get yourself some of this gear right here. I got the Nate Diaz I'm Not Surprised shirt on. Dave's got the represent hat, the classic. Make sure you go to reptheadvocates.com.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised you're supporting another Latino.
What the fuck is wrong with that?
Sticker. Look at that. Even a Latino on your shirt. I'm not surprised. That's the perfect shirt for you, by the way. It's perfect.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I love this shirt. One of my favorites. All right. It's going to do it for us tonight. Of course, remember, go to reptheadvocates.com. CrossBonesMMA.com takes you right to all the shows. iTunes, SoundCloud, all that shit. And special rest in peace, Charlie Murphy. If you're drinking anything tonight, make sure you pour a little out for our man, Charlie Murphy, 57 years old, died of leukemia. One of the best storytellers ever in comedy. I mean, the dude was just fucking awesome. And he only got props because of the Dave Chappelle show. But if you count any of his shit before that, and especially after that with his stand-up, the dude was fucking gold. So rest in peace. Thoughts go out to his family, especially his kids. And yeah. So it's going to do it for us. Catch you guys on later. Of course, UFC Kansas City this weekend. And since that card ends early for the West Coasters, get the fuck out of your house and go walk your dog or throw a football around or something, all right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, good night. And good night, Wiltshire.